Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. The worst period of the year, September for Bitcoin, guys, is coming from Michael Vandepope here on Twitter. Are we going to continue falling down? Are we continuing the bear market cycle? And are we expecting Bitcoin to test 20,000 while approaching the halving? ETFs and more. So guys, lots going on right now when it comes to the regulatory clarity for Bitcoin specifically. Those ETFs that the SEC has currently put on hold. He goes on to say Bitcoin drops to 25,500. What is next? I've updated this chart earlier today on the perspectives of the market, but this has been unchanged since. I've mentioned that the aggressive approach of the sweep at 25,800 was likely for a long entry, but I wouldn't be taking it as it's likely that we'll sweep lows after such a dump into the range. So he does describe what is happening here, or his analysis of that, and I will link this in the description. I'm not going to really go over his detailed analysis, but guys, what I did want to show you was this chart down in here. Really, really basic stuff, okay? Just taking a look at previous years when it comes to Bitcoin movements. Now, we start at 2013, go all the way to 2023, and you can see the bull years, very, very bullish, a lot of green on the chart here for 2013, 2017, a lot of green in and around here, even 2021, a fair amount of green, albeit not as much as previous years. We did see more bullish activity for Bitcoin in the past, but September's, if we just take a look at this column right in here, you can see September's are generally the not deepest cuts in terms of bearish activity, but always generally quite red. So not too much movement in terms of, positive movement in the space. 2016 was a bit of an exception here. The highest we've seen Bitcoin move to the positive during a September month, 6.04%. But as you guys can see, the rest is fairly negative. 0.26, that's nothing really to write home about. We got 2.35% back in 2015. But guys, generally speaking, September has been quite a bearish month for Bitcoin. And we are feeling it now. Bitcoin has retraced a little bit after that optimism that we saw a few days ago. Right now, the King Crypto is trading just under $26,000 at about $25,800. So we haven't really moved too much since yesterday. And guys, as I keep saying, as we should know by now, this is affecting the rest of the market. XRP trading at around 49.8, so just shy of 50 cents. And did we think at this point in time that we were going to see XRP go so low? Boy, how things can change in an instant. I know some of my patrons have been asking me, about XRP. Is it going to go lower? What should I do? And, I'm thinking maybe I will do an update video on my thoughts on XRP as well for my patrons, only $5 a month. The beauty of this right now, guys, is it's the beginning of the month. So great time to join the Patreon. And I've let all my patrons know, guys, that if you click on, I think maybe you have to click on collections and take a look at where the tags are. I have done about 40 videos so far since May, just relating to my trading, the coins I'm getting into, and you guys can find it there. WMC Trading for those patrons who are looking for it. But since September is another bearish month, guys, I'm on the hunt for more cryptocurrencies to diversify into my portfolio. Coins that have the potential to pump 10, 20, 50, maybe 100x. Who knows? This is the name of the game, guys. We are looking to make as much profit as possible in this coming bull run. And it's a bit of a different bull run this time around. I'm also going to be trading. I'm going to be opening up my portfolio to you guys, going to be trading my XRP as well, letting you guys know where my targets are going to be for my top crypto position. XRP is also seeing major utility spikes at the start of this month, in addition to today's milestone highs in on-chain transaction volume, guys. That is 4.8 billion XRP in circulation, 2.03 billion XRP. The development activity for the fifth largest cap asset in crypto is up big as well. You guys can see that spike up here from the beginning of the month. Highest XRP on-chain transaction volume since February 1st. And highest XRP unique tokens being moved since May the 31st. So that is big, guys. Another metric here, as brought up by you today, XRP metric shows jaw-dropping 9x growth. And so here's what it is. This metric is looking at adjusted volume between August the 26th and September the 1st, which was just yesterday, if you guys are watching this video on the day that it's released. This metric has seen an almost 9x increase, a development that could have significant implications for the asset's future. Down here, they describe a little bit about that in context with the price, but I just wanted to point your attention here, okay? August 26th, right up till yesterday, you guys can see 9x increase. We're looking at the blue line down here. So if we turn our attention to adjusted volume, this metric measures the real trading volume by filtering out noise and potentially manipulative activities. So they are actually looking at real volume and it has increased 9 times adjusted. So in this case, they're saying adjusted for this short period. It suggests that there has been a surge in genuine trading activities, possibly indicating increased investor interest or a shift in market sentiment. So yeah, I am hoping that this is the case. I mean, at this point in time, an XRP at 49 cents, I mean, again, who thought we were going to come back down in and around? I mean, we're not quite down there yet, but who thought we were going to see the 40s again once XRP did pump up to 94, almost 95 cents per coin. And you know what? This is just how it is, right, guys? The market ebbs and flows. Now that we've got Michael Van de Pope saying, September has historically been a bearish month, I'm on the hunt for some more altcoins. Hopefully, we do see the market plummet slightly lower so we can get in at some pretty good deals. The other thing I wanted to mention, this came out too, The Fake Genius, a $30 billion fraud, a documentary. It's about an hour long by James Janney. I don't know. I haven't even watched it yet, but I'm curious to see it. I just thought I'd bring that up. For those of you guys interested in the Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX story, I will link it in the description of the video. It's Saturday today. We're having a bit of fun. I mean, we did get this news yesterday from the courts breaking. Ripple files its opposition to the SEC's motion to certify interlocutory appeal. Coming from James K. Filan here on Twitter. Members of the XRP community commenting on this too, Cowboy Crypto, highlighting a specific passage here. The exceptional circumstances required for interlocutory appeal are absent. They've even mentioned it here. The court did not rule in the SEC's favor on all issues. In response, the agency is now rushing to appeal what it claims is purely legal question, applicable to every digital asset case. But the SEC's latest shift of litigation positions to further its desired goals, like its earlier ones, show no alliance to the law. So it doesn't really look like they are going to have a strong enough case. Tipsy Tiger even commenting, the SEC has a little of what it wanted here. Ripple raising the argument this case is XRP specific. I assume this will be readdressed in the judge's ruling for the appeal, and if so, could make it harder for other projects to cite this case. Fred Rispoli even came out, gave his 2 cents on the topic. Hard for me to see Judge Torres certifying the SEC's request. Legal analysis weighs in favor of Ripple, but I think the standalone reason to deny is the prejudice of BG and Chris Larson, so Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson, actual humans and not a company. Similar analysis to the U.S. right to a speedy criminal trial. In my opinion, the only way she certifies is if she decides this is a very political case that I don't want to get too deep in the middle of, and I'll just punt to the Second Circuit and let it decide itself. Whether to agree, then it's on them. And I don't see Judge Torres thinking like that at all. So, hopefully she doesn't do that. But just another point of view there. Even Stuart Alorati, in-house counsel at Ripple, said this. Ripple just filed its opposition to the SEC's request for an interlocutory appeal or an interim appeal. Worth a read, in my opinion, especially the footnotes. Footnote 5 is one of my personal favorites. So, of course, we had to go down to footnote 5. Down here, just to take a look, the SEC states, it does not see appellate review of any holding related to the fact that the underlying assets here are nothing but computer code with no inherent value. The court made no such ruling. To the contrary, undisputed evidence established XRP's inherent utility as a bridge currency to facilitate cross-border transactions. So essentially just stating the fact once again to prove that now XRP has clarity. Instead, the court found that an XRP token is not in and of itself an investment contract because it does not in itself meet Howey's requirements. Guys, that is just a fact. Now it is fact. The court has now, in fact, ruled on that. So there you go. In black and white, wanted to thank Stuart Alorati, Fred Rispoli, and James K. Filan, and everybody else, Tipsy Tiger here, Cowboy Crypto, everybody who contributed to this. So we're seeing these metrics rise, on-chain transaction volume, and also the adjusted volume, 9x, so something fairly significant here. I have a feeling some investors are thinking, at this point, this is probably one of the last times we're going to be getting in at these types of prices before we see another upshot. More Ripple XRP related partner news too. Ratham Kahneman bringing this up. Yes Bank, a Ripple partner, is now live with UPI interoperability. We talked a little bit about this the other day, but guys, they have finally gone live. India-based Yes Bank has gone live with unified payments interface interoperability on the Reserve Bank of India central bank digital currency app. Following this move, users are set to be enabled to scan any UPI QR code through the Yes Bank digital rupee app and carry out transactions in a simplified manner. The development will help expand the reach of the digital rupee significantly while underscoring the bank's commitment to furthering digital innovation and providing an extensive array of transactional options for users across the country. So that is the way they are coordinating, facilitating digital transactions in this particular country, India, which is heavily Ripple enabled, but also part of the BRICS nations. The RBI introduced the digital rupee in Q3. Q3 of 2023, marking a milestone in India's journey towards establishing a comprehensive digital financial landscape. And Yes Bank being amongst the initial 4 banks to participate in the pilot phase, this initiative introduced the digital currency system built on a unique QR code mechanism for carrying out transactions. And we got to remember, guys, Ripple, heavily influential in the country of India. So wanted to thank the Wrath of Kahneman for posting that. I also wanted to bring this up from Sento Sumo Saba, Crypto Eddie on Twitter, curated mashup of clips. And one of the founders here too of a company called FlashFX, one of the first Ripple networks to use Ripple's ODL. They've said it here, they facilitate large volumes globally from Sydney with 500% less in transaction fees. Guys, listen to this.
FlashFX is an innovative global payments platform that wants to change how money moves around the world. We use the latest digital payments technologies, including the blockchain, to bring efficiency, speed, and cost savings to the international transfer process. I'm Nicholas Steiger, the founder of FlashFX. Founded in 2016, FlashFX revolutionizes where banks have stagnated. We have embraced and employed innovative technologies like blockchain to create a payments infrastructure that brings about change. For the consumer and business segment, our platform can transfer money in real time, taking only a few minutes to reach its destination. It also costs the user up to 500% less in transaction fees, which if you're transferring, say, $10,000, equates to about $400 in saving. For financial institutions who integrate with us via RippleNet and APIs, we have the ability to move thousands of transactions and large volumes to beneficiaries in Australia and overseas, harnessing the same real-time benefits where possible.
How do we do this? We have superior technology. FlashFX is a cloud-native international digital payments platform designed from the outset to be efficient and automated, both from the user as well as internal operational point of view.
We innovate with blockchain. We're an early adopter of Ripple's blockchain technology, making transactions faster, cheaper, and more efficient by using the blockchain as a highway for connecting real-time domestic payment systems.
So even highlighting Ripple in that short clip there, and did you guys see that? 500% less transactions. Boom goes the dynamite. Bull Diep down here also noticing this, saw this in the video too. It happened very quickly, that you can send and you can receive in XRP. So they're highlighting RippleNet, they're highlighting XRP. Obviously very happy with this, and they were one of those first companies to really kind of engage with RippleNet, decide, no, we're going to take a stand, we're going to revolutionize our portion of this market in any way we can. And sure enough, guys, FlashFX all these years later is thriving. So wanted to thank Crypto Eddie for posting that. Cypress Domenencore here bringing up a lot of interesting research with regards to this new asset class type, namely cryptocurrencies, trading, and most importantly, institutional investments and how much money is going to pour into this eventually. So asset classes available for tokenization. Bringing up this report here from Digital Asset Custody, the future looks like the past. So this is from a Future of Finance study report. Asset classes available for tokenization. Pay close attention. This is very important. Because, well, here, just take a look at how big these markets are, okay? Fixed income equities, mutual funds, real estate, repo, privately managed assets, trade finance, infrastructure, collectibles, precious metals, fine wine market, and fine art, which you wouldn't think is that big, but it's huge in elite circles. And then just take a look at some of the numbers here. Fixed income, for example, the highest, $126.9 trillion. Then we got that followed by equities, mutual funds, real estate, so on and so forth. So you can see how big this market is, and they're saying these are available for tokenization. Some of these banks are also Ripple partners here, like BNY Mellon, Citi, Société Générale. Also, I believe, does have a connection to Ripple, DZ Bank. He notes up here, these include several systematically important financial institutions, not to mention their partnership with Ripple. Then BNP Paribas, HSBC. Okay, yeah, so he does highlight Société Générale and Northern Trust. Real estate is the giant in the forms of finance. Trade finance is the biggest target. And guys, they're going to run on DLT technology. So think about that. Think about the future of tokenization. And, even in this Ripple webinar, Crypto Eddie did point this out, guys. This is an employee of Ripple, SVP of Research and Innovation, Marius Jugilias. Listen to this.
In this future world, we all will have perfectly diversified portfolios of financial and non-financial assets. We'll be able to hold pieces of Rembrandt and have our toes somewhere in an emerging technology business in China, everything will be possible for us. And everything will be tokenized to the limit, where there will be no need to change assets or these pieces of ownership into cash or some medium of exchange. So that when you want to buy or obtain some item, you just exchange it to another item. And this exchange of item to an item, regardless if it's financial or non-financial, will not require a medium of exchange. That's the world of ultimate liquidity. But that's very futuristic, but that's where we should be aiming to. In the meantime, I believe that the concepts of automated market makers, which are proliferating in distributed exchanges, I think they could be taken into mainstream and applied to the places like, usual marketplaces, which right now are being intermediated by intermediaries, which are living in these semi-transparent worlds and extracting value. And maybe we, as citizens of the world, we can not only be just buyers and sellers, but we could be, for example, market makers of those tokenized assets. And if I have excess liquidity of something, I can just put it into the pool and facilitate transactions for the people which I have no idea that they even exist, and yet they engage in those transactions. So that's my vision.
So he's saying, with our XRP that we're holding, we can be market makers. And we've talked a little bit about market making, how XRP holders can be, in fact, market makers. But really what I found interesting was the fact that, this tokenized world, this tokenized landscape is going to look very, very different. And transacting is going to look very, very different. We're going to all hold pieces of whatever we find valuable, whether it's a Rembrandt, as he puts here, or we can dip our toes in a technology company from China. He gives that example there. Just going back to this Cyprus Demanding Core tweet here, look at the asset classes that are going to be tokenized according to this paper here. And, they don't just strictly stay in line with the traditional, typical financial investments. And everybody is going to have their own, what they see as valuable, tokenized on the blockchain. And then, guys, we can trade it. But first, unfortunately, there is the clarity portion of this, at least in the US. Jay Clayton did talk a little bit about Bitcoin on Squawk Box. Listen to this.
If you were in the chair today, would you have approved it?
Well, look, I'm not there, and I'm not going to have that kind of, I do this, he would do that. What I have said is, as this has developed, it is clear that Bitcoin is not a security. It is clear that Bitcoin is something that retail investors want access to, that institutional investors want access to. And importantly, some of our most trusted providers who are fiduciaries or have duties of best interest want to provide this product to the retail public. So I think, as Anthony said, an approval isn't inevitable. The dichotomy between a futures product and a cash product can't go on forever. And so I think that's the path we're on.
So if it's inevitable, Jay, then what is the SEC deferring? Why is the SEC deferring the applications? Are they looking for other ways, other grounds in which to try and reject these applications? And what is the case to be made when there are, futures ETFs for Bitcoin that are investors safer buying a Bitcoin futures ETF than a Bitcoin cash ETF? Basically,
what she's doing here is calling the SEC on their BS.
But what I think we are finding out is that for a long time, and I held this view, let me be clear, and I held the view that we were uncertain whether cash trading was so easily manipulatable that retail folks should not have access to it. There are now large institutions with surveillance mechanisms who are coming in and saying, no, that's not the case. We can rely on the efficacy of the cash market to a sufficient extent where we believe this is an appropriate product. That's a shift. Now, the SEC has been given time by the DC Circuit to reassess and perhaps come up with other reasons. I don't see those. Maybe there will be some, but I don't see those.
So what's your assessment then of what Chair Gensler is doing? Why if everybody in the industry is saying it's inevitable and he's just going to look for ways to reject the applications when there's a futures ETF already on the market, what's the point here?
Now listen to what Jay Clayton says here, guys. I think after this clip, you will see very clearly the manipulation that's going on from the SEC.
Well, let me say this. We'll give them time. There's a roughly 45-day time period, both in the DC Circuit and on the deferral of these applications. In the relative scheme of things, and I think Anthony was he didn't say this directly, but in the relative scheme of things, 45 days is a short amount of time. And I do expect that we'll have progress on this going forward.
Well, I mean, the language is fairly coded. All these guys that do talk on these big mainstream shows don't want to really give us the goods, right? Notice that Jay Clayton says, until the large institutions, i.e. BlackRock, offer it, we won't allow retail access. This coming from John Deaton here on Twitter. He literally admits how it works in the United States. Now, of course, he couches it all in the name of investor protection, which I reject as BS. We are witnessing exactly what I said on Charles Payne's Making Money show. Regulators are friends of the incumbents, and they all have finally accepted that they cannot kill crypto, but will crush its price so that those same incumbent friends can get a larger slice of the pie. So guys, when we do see market turns, when we see these opportunities, we have to be on the same side of the trade. If we're trading on the same side as the big guys, we're going to make money alongside of them. And then when the euphoria phase comes in, when all the other plebes decide to come into crypto, remember when your grandmother, your cousin, everybody else calls you and says, yeah, this crypto thing, I want to get into this. Well, that's a sign, guys. That's a sign to sell your bag. So let's get into our positions now. Well, the getting's good. That's just my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.